Here we are. I think we're about 10 weeks in, 11 weeks in, 12 weeks in. Let's see, March to April, April to May. Yeah, I mean, we're good, 10 weeks into this, I would say. And now all the return to the office stuff is continued. You're going to be getting more call stuff continued. Hey, we're back in the office stuff. Hey, come see us in the office. And again, as I've said over and over, not everybody's going to be ready to go to the office. So are you prepared for this, right? And the best way to be prepared for this, and crazy enough, it runs parallel to the analogy of the best way to be prepared for the virus was not have comorbidities, right? Exercise, eat well, all those things. So it was the things you were doing before the virus hit. Check this out. We're talking about your business and your health all together. So it was the things you were doing before the virus hit that really check the boxes for how is your experience with the virus going to be? And most importantly, how is your experience outside of what comes next going to be, right? This is where we are. This is where we are, right? We're way beyond the start of the ramp up, right? And so that time we had, that energy we had, all those things we needed to do things to look at the other side of this that we started talking about early on Tuesday nights, right? Because again, the way you needed to approach the now, the March, is the way you need to approach this as you're coming out. So this was never about spinning your wheels over here for survival, spinning your wheels here in this midterm, and then spinning your wheels coming out the other side. It was all about, let's get in survival mode and let's make sure we have one eye towards the other side. That's what this has always been about. And those who were doing most of what I'm going to share with you today are coming out of the other side and didn't take the hit that many aren't. Didn't have to close down. Didn't have to convince, by the way, this is an important word, didn't have to convince their current clients to jump on telehealth calls. That's probably the biggest takeaway from this whole thing. What was it like talking to your current clients, I'm just going to make up a date, on March 20th versus March 10th? If you felt like you were having to convince and finagle and work hard to get people to buy into telehealth visits, then I would question what was the process you were using before to build relationships. And that goes into today's topic. Everything comes back to the topic. And everything sounds like I'm saying the same thing, because I am. Because there is a formula for business success. There is a formula for patient success. And there is a formula for front desk success. And the formula doesn't change. You don't change math. Math doesn't change. I know, because I hate it. Math doesn't change. Math didn't change from March 10th to March 12th. The formula remained the same. We maybe had to modify a bit, but the goal always was to stick to the formula and return to the formula, because it is the formula for the most important word, and the most common word in all those was success. Patient success, business success, personal success all flow from each other, and there's a formula for it. And every successful business has used it. For some reason, healthcare doesn't believe it's a business that can benefit from business formulas, business other case models, for reasons unbeknownst to me. Yet all these businesses back here are dealing with the same thing we are in healthcare, which is people. And that is the one common denominator and the one common theme we all tend to forget. Healthcare is different. No, it's not. Just like I've shared with you in the past, how people, when I introduce my colleagues from Canada, everybody starts with, oh, you're from Canada. Oh, it's different up there. Well, you get paid differently. And actually, when you look into it, they get paid no differently. They have insurance. And it's way more straightforward up there. And they've been doing a lot longer what we should be doing. The point is, they treat people like us. We treat people. People bring the same biases, beliefs, everything, emotions to the relationship in Canada that they do down here. So let's get into this. There is a mindset for front desk success. There is a mindset for success, not of the owner, not of the providers, of your front desk. So if you want to be successful with your patients, if you want your business to be successful, if you want your team members to be successful, if you want to be successful as a business owner, then you must follow the formula for front desk success. And it is what it is, right? So I love that word success because we get to define the metrics at each step, right? Yet everybody, regardless of the metrics of your front desk, regardless of the metrics of your provider, regardless of the metrics of your billing team, everybody's working towards the same goal in a physio practice. Yeah, we could, you can extract this out easily for a chiro practice, for a dental practice, anything. It all works. You need all the team members working towards a common goal. That's good for what? Patient success. Everything flows from patient success. Now, there's a definition of patient success, which we won't get into today, but you all pretty much know there's about 10 check boxes. Achieving their goals, right? Low cancel rate, pay their bill, all those things go into patient success. So how do we get that? Well, one is we don't know the definition of patient success. We only think it's the relationship, the results of a relationship with a provider and the person in front of them. And so we shorten that list up. And what we don't realize is that all those things on the list for patient success can be influenced further upstream by your front desk person. And so we ask the provider to sit across from someone and we ask them to make it all about the person. It's got to be about them, their goals, everything they need and want from us has to flow out of that relationship. And I say, why not further upstream? Why not with your front desk too? So here's mindset number one. This is the one thing. There's about 6 to 8 things on the mindset list for the front desk. But what I found is if we focus on this one thing, it encapsulates probably 3 or 4 of them. So if we do this one thing, it checks off a lot of boxes. And that one mindset your front desk has to have is a mindset of that it can't be, now remember, this is the front desk speaking. It can't be about me. It can't be about us. It has to be about them. It has to be about you. And I do secret callers. And I have a checklist that I use for the secret callers. And the first thing I do when I hang up is this test. I say, was that call about me, the potential patient, or was it about you, the business? And I go through each one and I go, you or me, you or me. And I draw a line down the middle, you, me. I have yet to call a practice anywhere. I've called in different countries too. I've yet to do a secret caller anywhere where I got to the end of my list and more things were about me, the potential patient, than about you, the business. And let me give you some examples. When you lead off the call and you ask me for my name, okay, that's about me, the potential patient, only if you use my name again. And you would be baffled, and actually it might be your clinic too, so you'd be baffled because I'd tell you and you'd say you never thought it happened, but you'd be baffled how many people ask me my name and never use it again. You'd be surprised how I lead with my name purposefully, how many people ask me for my name after I've given them my name, maybe twice. Date of birth, that's not about me. My address, that's not about me, the patient. My insurance info, that's not about me, especially when I didn't tell you I wanted to use my insurance. So we're getting down this list and it's like, who's your doctor? That's not about me. What's your diagnosis? Here's a fucking surprise. That's not about me. Why do you need to see us? Ooh, that's about me. Share with me what you're trying to get back to. That's about me. Tell me, Jerry, have you had physical therapy before? That's about me because I'd love to hear what has helped you. Oh, that's about me. So you can see some of these things you're going, well, wait a minute. Yeah, they are about you. And it's like, no, not in the context that they're getting asked. Not when someone's going, can I get your date of birth? Can I get your address? Can I get your phone number? Do you have a doctor's referral? Fuck, man, that's 100% about you, the business. So it's the you versus me test. And it's the you versus me mindset that your front desk must be bringing to every call. And if your front desk isn't making the conversation about me, the potential new patient, then we are failing the patient. We are failing the provider. We are failing the business, and we're not meeting any of the rules we need to do during phase 2 of this patient life cycle to do what? To set the patient up for success, set the provider up for success, and set the business up for success. This is simple stuff, man. Going to buy some tires for your car, they'll make it about you. Right? Watch an infomercial. Watch an infomercial. You watched hundreds of them, thousands of them. Maybe you've never bought a thing. Every one of those commercials are about you, not the product. So why is it when people try to engage us for something as personal as healthcare, as something as emotional as healthcare, we can't make it about them, right? Their experience with your business is going to be lengthy with multiple interactions and multiple touch points. And if you believe only the provider has an impact on patient success, then you have the current state of affairs in healthcare. You have all those practices, let's double back to the beginning, that couldn't get people scheduled for telehealth visits when this hit. When you didn't make it about me, the potential patient, and you continued not to, and then you called me to do a telehealth visit, I'm confused about where this benefits me because it's never really been about me. You know what's interesting too? I've hung out at a lot of clinics in their waiting areas and stuff over the years, is the number of people that greet the patient who never reference the patient's progress or goals. And now I'm going downstream. But think about it. I just told you, you didn't make it about me on the first phone call. And every day I walk in, you say, hey, Jerry, how are you today? Great. You know, how was your weekend? Good. Okay, let's get started on your exercises. How you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling better. How many times do you refer back to their goals on that visit? Think about that for a second. What a coincidence, the sounds of science. The Beastie Boys are scientists. So yeah, so this starts on the first phone call, right? And the mindset, again, the mindset for this front desk success of being successful in their role of putting patients on a schedule who will do what? Here's the other thing. If I tell my front desk person that their job is to get people scheduled, we could argue that's about the person on the other end of the phone, but I could also argue equally that's about the business. And it's not about the person on the other end of the phone. Because if your front desk hangs up the phone and can't tell me what that person wants to achieve, what they want from doing business with you, what they want from giving their time, money, and energy to you, then it wasn't about them. And this is that whole why will they arrive thing. Why will they stay? And so if your front desk, again, this afternoon starts to get in this mindset of this phone call has to be about that person on the other end. It has to be about you, not me. So now I flipped it. I'm the one taking the phone call. Then you'll start to get some of these positive changes pretty quickly. Like people arriving, like people paying their copay, their coinsurance, their payment at every visit. This is where it has to start. And if it starts at the front desk, then you are more likely to get what? Patient success, which means provider success, which means business success. And if you don't start it there, then you're constantly flipping a coin and you're constantly playing, my favorite term, Russian roulette. Delivering someone to the provider for physical therapy at 10:30 for their low back pain is a fucking crapshoot. And you're fucking the provider. You're really fucking the patient too. Patient doesn't know if they're in the right place. Patient doesn't know if this place is right for them. Patient isn't sure if the money they're spending is right for them. But you just put them in front of the provider with a lot of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And the provider's got 45 minutes to do all the work that you're going to consider them either a success at or failure at. And do that every day, day in, day out. And then not have a system for them to follow up with these people properly with their goals and things like that. Again, I've shared this enough yet. When you start to take on this mindset of the front desk, when you start to set the front desk up for success by making sure they have the proper mindset, proper training, proper skills to deliver what they need to deliver for patient and provider and business success, then Everything you need to increase will increase. Everything you need to decrease will decrease. And I'll guarantee that. I've guaranteed the clients I've worked with, I guaranteed them based on their business metrics. If these two don't change, you don't pay me. Cancels go down, arrival rate goes up, payment at the time of visit goes up when you manage it differently on the first phone call. And by the way, are you sitting down? Completed plans of care go up when you start the process at the front desk, making it about them and not you. It has to start there, right? This is what I love is people spend all this money, and you guys, if you know me, I was on a little tear this week about this. People spend all this money on marketing in their website to tell me, the potential patient, that it's all about me. Everything's about me at your business. ABC Physiotherapy, it's all about you, Jerry. And I call, and the front desk takes me through a 13-point checklist, and maybe one or two of those things are about me. So you just fucking lied to me. So your brand promise disappeared on the first phone call, and the trust with your brand just started to decrease. But I schedule anyway. I don't want to call the next place. Sounds like it might work. Then about visit 3, I say, fuck them. This isn't working for me. And I leave, and I give you no reason. And I go find somewhere else that makes it about me. Sound familiar? Drop-offs? Cancels? Hey, Jerry, I can't make it today. Something came up. I'll see you guys on Thursday. You want those to stop? Work harder at the front desk to make it about me and not you, right? This all starts at the front desk. By the way, here's the other dirty word for 2020. You think 2020 was bad? It's only going to get worse because you're going to have to learn how to sell. Been doing sales training for 10 years with people. Nobody wants to call it sales training. Everybody wants to lie to themselves and pretend like they don't need sales training. The best content I've read on trust building, on decreasing fear, doubt, and uncertainty, on building empathy, the most consistent, bestest content comes out of the sales books. I am rereading 2 of my sales books. One of them I've read 5 times already. I'm probably on the 6th or 7th pass. So there's more in there about building empathy and building relationships than any fucking healthcare book I've ever seen, in any healthcare study I've ever seen. So, right, just embrace the fact that we all sell, right? We just need to redefine it a little bit. And if you think it's above and beyond you, cool. Do what you need to do. Just do it well and call it what you want. But you're going to outline exactly what the salespeople have been talking about for hundreds of years. And by the way, we are getting into hundreds of years because some of the first marketing and sales books were published in like the 20s and 40s that started to talk about relationships. And if you want your world, by the way, this you versus me test, it clicked so many boxes. You say you want to build relationships. How can you build relationships when the first phone call says it's all about me? We've all been in relationships where the other person talks about themselves the whole time. We dive out of those quickly. And then we act surprised when our patients dive out of those relationships quickly. If you make it about the other person, they'll feel better. There'll be a better emotional connection. It has to start far earlier. You started in your marketing and your brand building with your website and stuff like that, yet it has to continue. The moment it starts to die off is the moment you lose that person. In some ways, I hate to say it, I think people are waiting to be disappointed. So when you don't disappoint them, trust. Remember, when you go back and tell your team today that, look, these phone calls have to be about them, not you. You have to set them up for success. Let me give you some examples. And I gave you some examples. If you ask me what my diagnosis is, that's about you, the business, setting me up for billing. If you ask me, Jerry, tell me what has happened and what you did to that low back, now magically that becomes about me. So I'm not telling you to, sit down in a coffee shop. I'm telling you, this is what's interesting. I'm finding more and more I train people to do this. The phone calls are getting shorter. I was worried early on when I started this training that I was going to have to increase everybody's call time. But no, I'm sitting on 5 to 8 minute calls that aren't about me at all. And people say, well, the phone call is going to get longer. And I'm like, you already took 8 minutes of my time and it wasn't about me. We're not changing what we need. We're changing the way we ask for it. Think about that. And the best example of this ever, and then I'll cut this out. The best example of this ever, it's from forever ago, and I can't track it down again. Simon Sinek, Start With Why, did a blog on this. He wrote out like 2 paragraphs of a guy and a girl meeting at a restaurant for the first time on a first date. And of course, he did the typical, the guy takes over the conversation and talks all about himself. And then Simon Sinek said, how do you think this relationship's going to go, right? And you're like, the guy's egotistical, he's a narcissist, he's everything else. Simon Sinek then, right below that, flipped the conversation. It was so interesting. The same exact content was shared. But the guy in the second writing, the guy did it in context of everything about the person sitting across from him and her responses and questions he asked her. And there was no more number of, the word count was the same. So again, the first phone call is not about making it longer. It's about transforming what you need, asking the right questions. And then I will hang up going, that was all about me. And then trust will be built, or will start to be built. Then fear, doubt, and uncertainty will start to diminish. And I will know that when I arrive on Tuesday at 10:30 to see my physical therapist, right? I'll look at someone's name here, Dr. Michael Hildebrand, I will know that I'm in the right place. I'm not even there yet. I said, cool, I called the right place. And I'm so glad I called them. And here's the kicker too. When you do this, because you're worried about being commoditized, I love it when people hang the phone up and say, well, they're just going to call around. I'm like, because you gave them no reason not to. Think about that for a second. If someone gets ready to hang up the phone and says, well, okay, I'll consider that and I'm going to call around, that's on you. You gave them no reason not to. So if I hang up the phone, I go, wow, I found a place, right? I called this place saying, my name's Jerry, I need physical therapy for my low back pain. By the time I hang up, because of the questions that were asked that made it about me, I now know that I found a clinic who can help me get back to CrossFit and get rid of my morning pain. And I found the right expert, Dr. Michael Hildebrand. And coincidentally, that's Thursday at 10:30. And it's going to cost me maybe X amount of dollars, or you promised me a call in 48 hours with my cost. And I say, wow, I called the right place. Cool. I don't need to call anywhere else. You created that for that person. Because why? Because you made it all about them. So the you versus me test. I do it every time I do a secret caller. I hang up and I go, boom, you, me, you, me. That is what's going to keep people from going, I need to call around. I need to think about it. I'll take that because I'll ask more questions and tell them I'll follow up. I need to call around. You're commoditized. You commoditized yourself. 92% of the secret callers I've done, I double check this. Ask me what insurance I want to use without me offering how I want to pay. You commoditized it. You versus me, all right? It's not about you. You know, the other beauty is that you embracing the concerns. That's you telling the person on the other phone, all I care about is you. I want to know your concerns. Tell me your story. I want to make sure we're the right fit for you. None of this stuff takes longer. You just have to know where to insert it and how to do it. And that's what the front desk training program is about, right? Because once you do that, you'll start to see the impact with doing nothing else in your business. And that's why I pump the front desk thing so hard, is it's so far upstream. And it has such a massive effect on the rest of the ecosystem. Is that if you start doing a lot of this today, which I just gave you to start doing today. So Jerry, tell me about you instead of what's your diagnosis. And by the way, when you ask people to tell their story, they'll tell you if they went to the doctor. Cool, I still get what I need. They'll tell you how long it's been going on. Cool. They will share during their story what their goals are. Man, and I heard it at CrossFit and I can't go back. And by the way, do a little empathy, do a little acknowledgement. Oh, so Jerry, I heard you mention CrossFit. So is that really important to you? Yes, it is. So can I tell your provider that that's your number one goal? Oh, yes, please do. Oh, perfect, Jerry. I have the perfect provider for you, Dr. Michael Hildebrand. Helps a lot of people with low back pain to get back to CrossFit. Out of all the secret callers I've done, 98% didn't tell me the name of my provider. Did not tell me the name of my provider. You want to talk about a commodity? I called to schedule physical therapy for my low back pain. I get scheduled for physical therapy at 10:30 on Thursday for my low back pain. I don't know the name of my provider. I don't know if you guys help people with CrossFit. I don't know if you can get rid of my morning pain. So I call the chiro and I say, wow, I hurt my back. And they say, tell me how you hurt your back. And he said, I heard it at CrossFit. And he said, yeah, we help CrossFit people all the time. We can get you back to that. I go to the chiro. And by the way, who do you blame? Who do you blame when I call back and cancel? It's 100% on you. You allowed me to hang up without the call being about me. Me. When you make it about me, you embrace my concerns. You say it's not about us, Jerry. I love this line. I tell everybody to use this within the first 15 minutes when they ask for the story. The reason I want your story, Jerry, is because I want to make sure that we, ABC Physiotherapy, are the right fit for you. Because we don't want to waste your time, money, or energy if we're not the right fit for you. And my brain just goes, holy fucking shit. What the fuck alternate universe did I just call where a healthcare provider wants to make it about me? You don't think you're going to stick out in their brain? The mindset is you versus me. When they hang up, will they say, wow, that was cool, that was all about me? Or do they hang up and go, okay, Tuesday, 10:30. for physical therapy for my low back pain, right? What we create, it's not your patient's fault. I got to call around. Oh, fuck. All they do is price shop. Well, no fucking shit. What an interesting thing, because you made yourself a commodity. That was one of the biggest things that came out of my secret callers over all this time is you commoditize your product. The number of questions I come back with after the secret callers. I love to lead with questions when I debrief with the practice managers and owners, right? Do you guys do this? Do you guys offer this? What does this mean to you? And I say, well, all this thing happened on the phone call. And they go, what? And remember, if you don't train your staff, this is what I found too. They're going to take the path of least resistance. That was, oh, by the way, that was one of the hugest surprises that I presented to a group of practice owners at PPS last year. Everybody with 100% certainty tried to talk me out of direct access. Because here's the conclusion I came to, and I got the owners to agree to it, because the tracking system and the accountability system for the direct access falls back on them. And you have a shitty process in place for managing direct access patients. And so they always get stuck with calling people back to cancel them, with going to get off and stuff like that. 100% of the calls I did talked me out. No, I don't have a doctor's referral. Well, Jerry, it'd be best if you got one. Oh, that was my favorite, right? Again, you versus me, you versus me, you versus me. Direct access was supposed to be for me, the patient, and you're pulling it back and making it about you. Because why? Because not trained properly. Because the owner, the front desk manager, whoever, hasn't done what they need to do to own this process. To what? Set the front desk up for success. Because why? They believe the front desk are task managers. And part of that task is to answer the phone. I love that. I love looking at a front desk job posting and seeing here are all the things you need to do. And in there is schedule. So part of your 30 tasks that we've listed, 15 tasks, 10 tasks, is to schedule people. I'm like, that motherfucker should be a top and bold in a bigger font and say, this is your primary objective in your role here. And you can go deeper. This other stuff, yes, these are things that need to get done, but they don't take a priority over this. Helping this company to build relationships, to start to build relationships with people who want to do business with our company, to create patients who arrive, pay, stay, and do our marketing for us. That's different than getting scheduled. And again, let's double back. You should have been doing this the first 2 weeks of March. And if you weren't and you knew you should, but it was okay, because why? You defaulted to just scheduling people based on insurance. Or you didn't put in the work you needed to on the first phone call to understand why people were choosing you, why they should choose you. That's it. I appreciate you all spending your Tuesday with me. And to get this, we're going to keep going into this because, again, the front desk has become more important now. the front desk as the entry point to your business, to your practice, to your clinic has just fucking blown up. It was always enormous. Now it's more enormous. You like that? Just put more in front of it. They're the ones going to build this trust and decrease this fear, doubt, and uncertainty. I've been sharing over and over. People are going to drive up to your clinic and turn around and drive away if you don't manage this properly. First rate arrival will go down before it goes up. If you have a relationship with your patients built on this commoditization of everything, you will do poorly coming out the other side of this. If you don't understand that your front desk is part of a fucking sales machine that is just huge and hugely beneficial to your patients, your providers, and your business, then you can maintain status quo at best. And status quo is really not going to be tolerated out the other side. So unfortunately, on March 10th, status quo worked. On March 12th, status quo was I couldn't get one patient to schedule a telehealth visit. That to me was the biggest fucking tell of your relationships with people. Business side, don't take it personally. It's all personal, but on the business side, everybody I was coaching during that time took a hit, yet they're all, right? We're just doing the same thing. The conversation didn't change with them. We went short term, like it was more businessy, financy. But now I've got two of my people, three of my people are running front desk people back through the front desk training program because they have the time. One of them realized the person he had during this wasn't the right person, starting a new program today. And the point is, again, if you were in this mindset of relationship building, you versus me, the front desk is part of the sales process. The front desk is part of a process of patient, provider, and business success, then you are having an easier time ramp out of this. And if you're just now starting to use the word sell, or you're still offended by the word sell, it's not a good time for you. If you can embrace the fact that selling is education and setting the person on the other end of the phone up for success, then you will be successful. You can always catch up. You can always catch up, but you got to start fucking doing it. That's why today, take this one thing, go back to your front desk, go back to your system for front desk and say, we got to revamp some of these questions to make it about them, not us. Now, by the way, I told you date of birth, phone number, address is about you. You want to make it about me? Here's a trick. And then we're signing off. If I tell you, look, Jerry, you say, hi, my name is Jerry. I have low back pain. I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. If you start the conversation by saying, hi, Jerry, in case you didn't catch it, my name's Becky. And I'm glad you called us here today at ABC Physiotherapy because we can definitely help you with that low back pain. And during this call, I can get you scheduled. If you start it like that, it's already about me. So take that back. And then here's the next thing Becky says is, so Jerry, in order to make sure that we are the right fit for you, remember, so we're not wasting your time, money, or energy, I would first like to get some information from you, right? And then I'd like to get your story from you. Now it's all about me. So there, right? And by the way, this phone call is still taking the same amount of time, and I will still get by the way, I'll go, what's your phone number? What's your date of birth? What's your address? And all of a sudden it's all about you. That's the way to make it about the person on the other end. There's no difference. This is why I call it flipping the script. We're not adding, we're just changing. Hey, we're still going to get all this right here. Hey, look, you used to get this. We're still going to get this. And they're going to think, or we're going to put them in the mindset that we're getting this because it's for you. Because I need this to put you in the system to get you scheduled. Oh, okay. Well, Jesus, I called to schedule, and now you just told me you need this to get me scheduled. Me. All right. That's really it. But that's it. So if you sat through this and you got to the end, I told you exactly how to take it back to your team today to flip the beginning. By the way, what you do at the beginning will impact the rest of it. So if you slow it down and acknowledge and do exactly what I said, you've got them sucked in. I've had people where I call and I say, hi, my name's Jerry. I have low back pain. I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. And they say, all right, so what insurance do you have? That happens about 15% of the time, fortunately. The bitch is that happens 15% of the time. Insurance being asked by the third question is about a 70% occurrence. I didn't say how I fucking wanted to pay. Maybe I want to barter chickens. Asking me if I want to use my insurance, it has so many inherent issues with it. It is fucking insane. And yet, because you didn't train your front desk, that's all they know to do next. Because, by the way, why does your front desk ask people that quickly about their insurance? Because it makes the front desk person's life easier. It has nothing to do with anybody else. And God bless them, they should, because we didn't train them and teach them how to build a relationship and how to make it all about the person and how to make an emotional connection in the same amount of time that they were doing all this other stuff about, right? This front desk success, and actually you're going to be seeing front desk sales success. I've already started using it. Conversations, communications, empathy, relationship building, transactional versus relationship. It's all sales terminology. Everybody wants to use it, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. So let's set it up for what it is. And the better you understand the marketing, the sales, the retention, the exciting, and the referral process, the more successful you will be in your business creating successful patients.